Steam's Deck Building Fest is now live, which means tons of massive discounts on many titles that come with that card-based gameplay. From the latest games to some hidden gems, I've got you covered, as coming up I'll be showcasing some of the best deck building games currently on sale. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran looking for something fresh or a beginner who is new to the genre, here are some of the most addictive games to play right now. Like, what about a game where you're managing a team where you're trapped in this post-apocalyptic subterranean city? In As We Descend, your entire city functions as a giant circular drill tunneling towards the center of the earth to escape the terrors on the surface. As you descend each level, you'll spend turns playing cards to manage city facilities or send expeditions out into the surrounding caverns to search for vital tech. And unlike some of the other games on this list, this one plays more like a turn-based tactics game, where you will recruit and upgrade distinct forces. This means that you'll need units like infantry and specialized support to help take down these massive monstrous threats. Also, your units in the front line will auto-attack between turns, but then face the brunt of the incoming damage, while the hologram in the rear will sling ability cards powered by the faith of your citizens. This creates a tense strategic sandwich where you must balance unit preservation against the need for aggressive damage. Sure, it's still in early access, but it's just had its 8th big update, making card and unit changes to help improve overall gameplay. As We Descend right now is on sale for 33% off, or like $13. But hey, it's a great game if you want something different in your deck building gameplay. Now it's time for a classic deck builder where your words can also become your weapons. Griftlands is this game that has some great tactical combat woven into a campaign that'll keep you hooked for hours on end. Sure, it's another roguelike, but now you can choose between 3 different characters, from a mercenary to a soldier, where they all feel distinct, and now you gotta keep playing to see what happens in their story. The encounters along the way always feel random, so every run will feel different, but it's that gameplay that is so great. Like, if you know your way around similar titles, you'll know what to expect, but it's the conversations in the game that are going to make it interesting. You'll have your own set of cards for them, but the best part is that they'll be affecting the story and just give the battles just more impact, as now you have some more context going in. And because it's from Clay Entertainment, the visuals come with that Saturday morning cartoon vibe with a lot of attention to detail. Griftlands right now is 66% off, or like $7. So if you're wanting a deck builder that focuses more on story and building strong relationships with the characters, then this one might just be for you. Now, does the phrase "Slay the Spire meets D&D" sound interesting? Well, Gordian Quest is another hidden gem worth checking out. Sure, it might look like a roguelike deck builder, but it's actually this class-based tactical RPG that focuses more on the fights and character optimization over just what cards you might have. In the game, you'll play as these would-be heroes of Westmire, trying to survive against a sudden wave of evil monsters sent by a rogue Rift Lord who has taken a personal offense to your existence. Your party of heroes will grow over time, ranging from standard swordsmen to complex casters, each with their own customizable deck. The combat can get pretty technical. It involves lane positioning and elemental resistances, and the game also comes with the roll for success system inspired by tabletop gaming for out-of-combat encounters. It all can seem a bit overwhelming at first, but once it clicks, you'll get a thrill of watching your carefully curated deck steamroll the enemies. Beyond the main campaign, which can be a bit long if you don't have the time, the game still comes with the roguelike Slay the Spire style experience for those looking for some quick tactical fixes. On sale, you can pick up Gordian Quest for 65% off, or like $7, and is worth checking out if you're looking for something that just isn't your typical roguelike deck builder. Next up is Howl, a game that I couldn't take my eyes off from the very start, both from its visuals but also in its gameplay too. This is another title that focuses more on the story and its tactical RPG elements, where in the game you're this woman trying to get her son back from the afterlife in this Nordic-inspired world. Along the way, you'll be trying to take down these twisted spirits that are very challenging to take down. To do that, you've got this growing deck of cards, which starts off with just simple moves like throwing a rock to eventually some crazy fireball attacks and way more. It's not easy though. I died so many times, but eventually once you make it past a certain enemy, you're just like, yeah, I've got this. It almost gives you that dopamine rush from the Souls-like games where punishment is inevitable. Or maybe I was just terrible at the game, who knows. If you're a fan of games like Into the Breach, then you'll enjoy that tactical gameplay, learning attack patterns and exploiting them at all costs. Not many people know about Death Howl, but you can get it on sale for 25% off, or like 15 bucks, and it's worth checking out if you're just hooked onto these visuals and you enjoy your turn-based tactical gameplay. Up next is Hadean Tactics, which is basically what you get if you take the lane-based chaos of an auto battler and combine it with a deck of cards. Unlike most deck builders though, where you watch your units bump into each other, here you'll be constantly pausing the action to drop buffs or reposition your squad on this grid. In the game you'll be picking a hero class like the Inquisitor or the Warlock and start recruiting souls to fight for you, each belonging to different alliances that grant passive bonuses. The combat plays out in short bursts of several seconds, meaning that you have to think fast about whether you're dumping your energy before the timer starts ticking again. The game though comes with a massive amount of build variety because you can eventually create custom heroes, mixing and matching skills that probably shouldn't go together. Visually though, it looks very cool. It's got this dark underworld vibe to it that makes the tactical board just feel a bit more intense than your standard tabletop sim. And right now, Hadean Tactics is 55% off or around 9 bucks. And it's a great pick if you're just tired of the standard turn-based fights and you just want something with a bit more unpredictable action. Up next is Knock on the Coffin Lid, which is this dark, narrative-heavy roguelike deck builder that feels more like a grim fantasy novel coming to life. In the game, you'll be following one of 3 main characters, like the knight Percival, who has been resurrected by a mysterious hooded figure to reclaim a lost throne. The game puts a large focus on its branching story, where your choices during random events will actually matter and lead to over 50 different endings. The combat, as you can see, looks very familiar, but it also introduces a deeper layer of complexity through its unique equipment and set bonuses. For example, instead of just grabbing cards, you're constantly hunting for specific armor and weapons that can actually change how your deck functions. The art style is also pretty gritty. It leans into more of a mature, war-torn aesthetic and sets it apart from the other colorful entries in the list. And overall, the game stands out at making every run feel like a piece of a larger puzzle rather than just a repetitive climb up a map. And right now, Knock on the Coffin Lid is 35% off or like $16, and might be worth checking out if you just want a deck builder with some actual weight to its lore, as well as some great tactical gameplay. And for something a bit more vibrant, we've got StarVaders, which is still currently sitting with overwhelmingly positive ratings on Steam. Why? Well, I think it's because they took the classic deck building elements and added some spice in the form of the Space Invaders style of gameplay. The game gives you this mech and you'll need to stop this alien invasion, with the main objective here is preventing them from reaching the bottom area, aka the Doom Zone. If they stay in the Doom Zone for too long, your Doom meter fills up, and if it's too high, it's game over. Other neat mechanics include the Heat and Chronos systems. So instead of a standard mana pool, actions generate heat that can eventually damage your mech, forcing a careful balance between playing aggressively and trying to cool down. Then there's the chrono mechanic that allows you to manipulate the timeline, adding another layer of puzzle solving to the tactical combat. I also enjoy the punchy visuals and the pumping soundtrack in the back. And yeah, when it comes to that replayability, you've got multiple mechs and different pilots to choose from. Sure, it's not the cheapest on the list, but StarVaders is on sale for 30% off or like 17 bucks, which isn't too bad, especially if you want a deck builder that comes with that panic-inducing Space Invaders gameplay. Up next is another title that includes both a roguelike mode but also a campaign to just help it stand out a bit. Blitz is this vibrant pirate-themed RPG deck builder that does a great job at blending high fantasy storytelling with fast-paced card combat. In the game, you'll be summoning minions and casting spells to dominate a 2x4 grid. And like I said, if you're tired of playing a roguelike, well, you can choose the Fables, the narrative-driven campaign with exploration and character arcs. However, it's still got that roguelike mode where you can do your usual experiments to find ways of breaking the game. The game comes with a lot of customization, so tons of cards to play with across 5 different factions. And yeah, those colorful pixelated visuals and bumping soundtrack give you this arcade-like experience throughout your gameplay. The game is out of early access, but it still comes with a few issues here and there, which is a shame, but on sale, Cross Blitz is 50% off, or like $11, which isn't bad if you're looking for a campaign in your deck builder and you like what you see. Another pixelated must-play is Cobalt Core, a game that keeps the gameplay basic, fun, and addictive all at the same time. It's also sitting with overwhelmingly positive reviews, where this sci-fi roguelike has you thrown into these intense, turn-based ship duels, all while trying to escape a time loop. So while you're trying to solve the mystery about what's happening around you, you'll be doing these epic battles that strip down all the complexity you find in other deck builders. The combat focuses heavily on positioning, where you must decide between attacking, putting up your shields, or just spending movement to stay out of a blast zone. Plus you get a crew of 3 distinct characters, each contributing their own specialized cards to a shared deck for unique synergies. So just note, this game is just very light-hearted and takes it very easy, so hardcore veterans, they might find it a bit too easy. So sure, it might not be as complex as some of the other games on this list, but that's not what this title is going for. To me, this is a game you'll get for its quirkiness, its charm, and it's just trying to not take itself too seriously. Also, yeah, that soundtrack, it might be one of the best on this list. Plus on sale, Cobalt Core is 60% off, or like $8. Not bad if you're looking for a chilled out deck builder with tons of personality. Next on the list is Inscryption, which to me is one of the most unique games on this list. Probably one of the most unique games I've ever played. I even made a whole separate video about those kind of games because I just find them so fascinating. Why? Because, well, it starts off as a seemingly traditional, albeit somewhat spooky roguelike deck builder, but then it slowly starts getting weirder and weirder. I can't give away too much as how the game progresses, I don't want to give away spoilers, it's just something you have to experience for yourself. I can talk about the deck building though, I wouldn't call it super technical, but it's great for beginners, and even if you just want something different. You're trying to beat the strange person across from you, using various animal cards that come with their own unique personalities, going through this map on the table as you progress. The gameplay feels very intense at times, where the scale on the side determines if you win or lose, but you can always do stuff like pull out your own teeth to help tilt that scale in your favor. Yeah, and trust me, it only gets weirder from there. Like, who is this person? What are all these puzzles in this place? And why does this card give me always so much sass? On sale, Inscryption is 60% off for like $8, and definitely a title that you need to have in your library just because of how interesting it is. And while you're at it, don't forget about Casey's Mod, which is this free expansion that hacks the cabin that gives you this endless and increasingly challenging roguelike that, yeah, is definitely worth checking out if you just want to get something more out of the game. Then coming in with another must-have classic, it's Marvel's Midnight Suns. Again, if you're tired of seeing another roguelike deck builder, then this one might be for you. This game is more of a tactical RPG, which makes sense as the game's director is the same guy who directed the modern XCOM titles. But instead of running around and missing 99% of your shots, here you'll be dueling it out in these epic superhero card-based battles. You'll be playing as the Hunter, a fully customizable hero resurrected to lead a team including Iron Man and Wolverine against the demonic Lilith. The combat though, man, it's so much fun. You're pulling these cards from a shared deck and you'll be trying to knock enemies into environmental hazards, vault off objects for extra damage, or just unleash these devastating heroic abilities. When you aren't in battle, you'll be chilling in your base, aka the Abbey. Here you'll be chit-chatting with other Marvel legends to build friendships that will help unlock passive abilities and legendary suits for your teammates. And sure, the friends with benefits mechanic can be a bit weird at times. I just think the overall gameplay of the card-based strategy is just not worth missing. Also on sale, Midnight Suns is 85% off, or like $9. Such a good deal for a title with so much content, especially if you're a fan of the Marvel Universe or just superheroes in general. And now, what would a deck building list be without Monster Train 2? Sure, the original is still great and definitely worth playing, but hey, the second one is on sale, so here we go. In this vertical lane roguelike deck builder, you'll be surviving oncoming waves of enemies before they reach your pyre heart. The gameplay functions similar to most deck builders, like drawing cards and using mana to play spells, equipment, and monsters. But now you've got more of a tower defense element to it. In the game, you'll be summoning creatures to fight off these enemies, and if you lose, well, these enemies advance to the next level, aiming to ultimately take down your pyre. Too much damage, and well, your run is over. It comes with so many choices though, like you'll be pairing two distinct monster clans, choosing a champion's path, and then starting to build utterly broken synergies. The sequel also adds equipment cards, so like stat boosts on your units, as well as room cards, so adding special effects to the floors themselves. You also get to choose from 10 different clans, each with some unique themes and card pools. But yeah, if you're a fan of deck builders and haven't tried out Monster Train 2 yet, now might be the time. It's currently 25% off, or like $19. Sure, that's a bit high, but the amount of replayability in Monster Train titles are insane. So yeah, you will not go wrong with this one. Now, do you enjoy your free time? Well then, BALATRO will not be for you because wow, this game is just so addictive. Well, at least for me, because I stupidly decided to get it for my phone. Like, I'm not sure why it's on this list, I'm pretty sure everyone knows it by now, but hey, it's on sale, and if you haven't got it yet, boy, you are missing out. And yes, I know it might not click for everyone, but that's fine. I think because this deck building roguelike added the twist of being it revolving around poker hands, made it so enjoyable, just a fresh take on the genre, and that's probably why there are so many knockoffs now. For me, it's just such a simple game to get into. To win the round, you just need to get a high score that's big enough to beat the required amount. You do that by placing down cards, using the rules of poker to generate combos. However, once you discover the jokers at the top and what they can actually do, oh my, does it change up the game completely. Do you want 100 ace of spades? Sure, why not? 5 of a kind? Go ahead. But honestly, I think it's the sound of getting all the high scores that just keeps pulling me in. My dopamine receptors just keep craving the ting 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 every step of the way. On sale, you can get BALATRO for 20% off or like $12, but it could be double the price, and I'd still say it's worth the amount of money because you'd get so many hours of gameplay from this addictive game. And then finally, I felt it'd be weird having a list like this without including the best one of them all, Slay the Spire. I would have included the sequel, but that one's not on sale yet, so if you haven't played the first one, now is the time. It's still such a masterpiece that effectively launched the modern roguelike deck building craze. But the genius here lies in the balance, where every card choice and relic you pick up can drastically alter how your run will go. The combat is great for people wanting to get into the genre, although it might kind of ruin it for you, but it's neat because it shows you what the enemies will be doing next so you can plan your defenses accordingly. And to me, it's this approach that helps your runs turn into a high-stakes puzzle of math and resource management. As you progress, you'll be unlocking powerful relics that can create some game-breakingly fun synergies. It also came with that distinct style that is quite minimal, it's a bit moody, but it just helps you focus on that just one more run type of gameplay. And on sale, Slay the Spire 1 is 75% off for like $6. So if you haven't played it yet, now is the time to do so. To this day, it remains the gold standard of the genre just for its tight mechanics, immense variety, and just such well-designed difficulty. And that wraps up this list. Did you find any games that you enjoy or that you'll be getting? Let me know in the comment section below and maybe help out others for good recommendations. Also, don't forget to leave a like and maybe subscribe if you want to find more content like this. A big shout out goes to my channel members. You guys always mean so much to me. But other than that, it's Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, and as always, don't stop gaming.